Hi everyone, good morning. My son, a few days ago, he asked me to discuss one of his homework problem, and this is the question. The age of Ruth's mom is now 4 times than the age of Ruth. 6 years from now, the age of Ruth's mom will be 3 times of Ruth's age. How old are they now? So the situation is like this. He has not learned about the unknowns or the variables like, X, Y, or Z. So I try not to discuss with him and solve this question using the method that we tend to give to our kids. Well, I will discuss about this method, of course, later, but the first thing that I want to share with you is if we are given this kind of question and then the situation is like what I have now, uh, where the kids, they actually haven't learned about the unknowns, the variable. So how can we actually solve this kind of question? And this question is something that I was thinking quite a long time ago, because I want to give him simple idea how to approach, how to answer this one, and I think this is what I can offer to him, and perhaps also I can offer to you. So, well, to me, this is just a question that motivate us to explore the numbers basically. So the way I explain and discuss with him is I try to make tables. Now this is their age now, and then this is the 6 years later, right? Now when we have these two people now, Ruth and then her mom, yeah. What happened is actually I can make table of their age, and we can start with a number. For example, say the age of Ruth now is 1 year. Of course, from the example here, you can tell that the age of her mom will have to be 4 years, right? Because of this. Now, 6 years later, that means, we can ask now to our kids. So 6 years later from now, what is the age of Ruth and her mom? Of course, this is a simple question, right? So you can just add with 6. So basically 1 plus 6 gives you, 7. And then 4 plus 6 gives you 10. But if you look at this number, 10 is not 3 times, right, than 7. So this can't be the answer. And then you try to move on with the next number, so 2, for example, and then because now the age of mom is 4 times, so it's now 8 years. And again, when you add with 6, this is what happened. So now 6 years later, Ruth will be 8 years old, and then her mom will be 14. But again, this number is not 3 times then Ruth's mom 6 years later, so this can't be the answer. But here's the thing, we try to ask whether this answer makes sense or not. If you look at the number, this is too small to, for the age of mom. So we try to now to jump to a value that makes more sense. Yeah, for example, if the age of her mom it's say 24, So, you know, in this question, actually the number that we expect to have will be an integer. Yeah, so there is no fraction, so we don't need to worry with the fraction. That makes our life much easier, actually. Okay, so for example, if her mom is now 24, that means the age of Ruth will be 24 divided by 4, which is 6, yeah? Okay, so 6 years later, therefore, Ruth will be 12, and then her mom will be 30. And again, this is not 3 times, right? So this can't be the answer either. Okay, so if that's the case, now we ask our kids, right? So what's next after 24? Because this is 4 times, yeah? And what happens is if it's easier to create numbers like the multiple of 4. So the next one will be, you know, 28. So if her mom is 28 now, that means Ruth will be 7. And therefore, it is, you know, 6 years later, 13. And this is 34. And also, you see here the number 34 is not 3 times then 13. Therefore, this is not the right answer. So basically, what we ask our kids to do is to explore this number and then get the perfect number, right? For example, if you continue this one, 32, this will be 8, and then this gives us 14, and then this is 38, and this is not also 3 times, so this can't be the answer, right? Now, well, actually we have done this one, but I think you need to continue this list, yeah, this table. Okay, so for example, the next one is 36, and this gives you, you know, 9, yeah, and this is not the answer either, so you need to check yourself with this one. So 40, this is 10, and that gives you here 16 and 46. This can't be the answer either. So, you know, you need to continue this further. For example, now if her mom is 44, therefore Ruth will be 11, and then this is 17, and then her mom will be 50, and this is not 3 times either, so this can't be the answer. And then the next one will be 48, and this is 12. So 6 years from this year will be 18, and then this will be 54. Now let's stop at here. If you look at this number, 54, yeah, of course, this is 3 times 18. So this is actually correct. And that tells us something. So basically the answer of Ruth's mom and her mother now it's 12. It's Ruth's age now. Yeah, and 40 age, it's Ruth's mom now. So well, if you look at how we solve this question by using this table method, yeah, of course, it will be a bit lengthy, yeah, but it gives our kids a sense of the, you know, exploration, because they will have to try with a number and then see if that match or not, yeah, and so on and so forth. And that's a good thing, actually, when they start to learn mathematics from the beginning, yeah. Well, in more advanced way, of course, we will not do something like this in the future. And like I said in the beginning, normally we tend to bring this method initially to our kids where we are using the unknown X, Y, or Z, right? But I think if you see this is like the first time they see the question, I don't think that method is the best way to explain, to answer this one with our kid, because sometimes what happens is, you know, it's quite challenging actually to translate the question like this, yeah. The age of Ruth's mom is now 4 times, then the age of Ruth, and then 6 years later, the age of Ruth's mom will be 3 times. It's quite difficult actually to translate this kind of mathematical information into mathematical equation. So I don't think introducing them from the very first time, yeah, using X or Y, it's a best choice. So, well, if I may suggest, perhaps this is the first time, the first method that we can introduce to them. But then, of course, they will feel, well, we will not do something like this every time, right? Because you see, this is quite lengthy. And then it starts now with something that we need to introduce them, which is using the unknowns, yeah? Okay, so you see, there are many ways actually to answer question like this, yeah? Now, if I will explain how to answer this one using, you know, the variable, the unknown, yeah? So normally we will start with, you know, for example, let's say the h of root, it's something that we don't know. We can just write any letter if you want. Normally we'll just write something like X or any letter you want, right? R, for example, if you want to write as different letter. And then her mom, you can write also with different letter now. Yeah, for example, Y. So, you know, now the condition is that her mom's age, this number Y, it's 4 times than the h of root X, yeah? So this is what I told you before. Actually, when they start to learn about this kind of problem, it's actually not very easy to introduce or how to translate this kind of question into mathematical equation like this, and sometimes they need more practice. Okay, for example, if Ruth's mom is you know, 5 times, so how do we write the mathematical equation for it, right? So we have to train them with different kind of situations so they know exactly what they are doing. Okay, now when we talk about 6 years later, they will give you something like this. So X, the h of root plus 6, yeah, here, and then the h of mom will be Y plus 6. So it was written that 6 years later, the h of root X plus 6, this one, yeah, sorry, the h of root's mom will be 3 times. So, okay, actually, well, we can write like this. For example, the h of root moms, yeah, this number, Y plus 6, it is equal 3 times root's h. So that number, X plus 6. So you see now, we can simplify the second equation, like, you know, when you open up the bracket, here's what we get. And this is what happened actually. If they haven't learned about this kind of property of number, you know, when you have brackets, so basically you can multiply this, yeah, that can be a bit problematic actually. So they need to know how to do like 3 times X plus 6. That will give you 3 times X and then plus 3 times 6, which is 18. So that's why sometimes explaining about this method is a bit challenging because they need to know some stuff before it, you know. Okay, so when you try to simplify this, we will get, you know, Y equals to 3X plus, okay, 18 minus 6, which is 12. So basically what we have now, we have 2 equations. This is the first one, Y equals to 4X, and then this is the second one, Y equals to 3X plus 12. And like I told you in the previous session, yeah, we are now dealing with linear equations that have more than one unknown. So in this case, we have two unknowns or two variables. So my goal now is how to solve this kind of linear equation. So, you know, this is now we have two linear equations with two unknowns. You know, normally when we were in the secondary level, we already learned about this method actually. So we can do something so-called the substitution. And then the second one, we can also use something so-called the elimination. And actually, there are some other methods to solve this problem. Okay, so okay, let me discuss these first two methods. Yeah, here we have two equations. The first one is y equals to 4x, and the second equation we have y equals to 3x plus 12. So when we want to solve the values of x and y using the substitution method, the idea here, the idea of substitution is simple. Basically, you try to substitute one of the unknowns, one of the variable, yeah, using the other variable here. So normally we will need to have something like this. So basically, this is something like, you know, the expression of a variable in terms of the other. Yeah, for example, here we have y equal to something which is equal to 4 times x. So we normally will need to have something like this, and then what happens is we can now put in what is y into the second equation. So, you know, from the first one we know y equals to 4x, and then we can put that into the second one. So in this case, 4x equals to 3x plus 12. Now, you know, we just need to solve this one. And well, of course, our kids need to know how to solve an equation like this. And we need to teach them the idea behind an equation. So basically, you know, when you do something in the one side, you have to do the same thing also on the other side, right? So for example, if you subtract the right hand side by minus 3x, yeah, you need to do the same thing also with the left hand side. So, you know, with 3x minus 3x, that will give you 0, basically they are gone. And then you just have 12 here. And then 4x minus 3x, this gives us x. So the answer for the value of x equal to 12, right? So that's actually the same thing like what we got before. Remember, the h of root equals to 12. Yeah. Now, you know, once we get one of the values here, x, yeah, we can just put this value into one of the equation we have here to get the value of y. So for example, now we have x here equals to 12. You can put back again here that y equals to 4x, and then x here is 12. So basically the value of y will be 48. Yeah, and that's the h of root mum now. Okay. So that's normally how we do the substitution. The idea is we just substitute one of the variables into the other equation. Okay. Right. Now the second method that you probably have seen is called the elimination. So the idea of elimination is simple. Basically, we try to eliminate one of the variables simultaneously. Okay. So you know, sometimes when you have an equation like y equals to 4x, yeah, so this is the equation in the form like y equals to mx plus c, yeah. When you do the elimination method, actually sometimes it's easier to change the form of the equation into this kind of form. So basically ax plus b times y equals to a constant c. So the idea here is, you see, the variables x and y, we put them in the same side all together and then let equal to something, yeah, or the constant. So if we want to change this into this kind of form, basically what you'll do is just to you can move the 4x now to the left hand side. So here we have y now minus 4x and then equal to 0, right? So y equals to 4x. Now when you move the 4x to the left hand side, that gives you y minus 4x equal to 0. So that's the first equation, which is something from this one. And then the second one, it's like this, y plus y equals to 3x plus 12. So I will do similar things. So basically, I will move that 3x to the left-hand side, yeah, y minus 3x equals to 12. So here's, we have now also two equations, yeah, this and this. And then what you will do next is you'll just put them on top of one another like this, yeah. And here's the thing. So when you have an equation, yeah, actually I need to introduce something to you. The number in front of the variables, like a or b here, yeah, they are called the coefficient. Yeah, so this is like a multiplying factor or scaling factor, yeah, coefficients. And the number without x or y, it's called the constants. Yeah, so this is constant. Okay. Now, when you want to do the elimination, actually it's good when we have one of the coefficients, either the coefficient of y or the coefficient of x, the value of this coefficient are equal or the same. Yeah, for example, if you see the coefficient y here, it's 1. Yeah, it's 1 times y, and then the coefficient of this y is also 1. So that's the condition that we want to do, we want to have with the elimination. If we don't have that kind of condition, yeah, we need to multiply with something first so that the coefficient will be the same. So in this case, we don't need to do that because they're already the same. Okay, but in the future we will see something else that they are different, so we need to multiply them. Okay. Now, if they are already the same like this, yeah, it's actually quite easy, because now if you want to if you want to eliminate y, you can just subtract. So you can just subtract the first equation with the second equation. So when you subtract the first equation with the second equation, yeah, see, this is how we do it. Y minus y, 1y minus 1y, they are gone, right? Because, they are the same. As y minus 1y, it's gone. And then the second one, minus 4x subtracted by minus 3x. So if you are confused, we can write them like this. Yeah? Okay. And then equal to what? See, we have now here 0, and then subtracted by, see this number now, it's just this 12. Okay, so basically this is what we have. Remember, in the beginning we have y minus y, and like I told you before, this y minus y, it's gone, it's 0. Yeah, that's why we don't need to worry with that. Okay, now with this one, minus 4x minus 3x, it becomes minus 4x plus 3x. Okay, so minus 4x plus 3x, that gives you minus x. So equal to, okay, 0 minus 12. 0 minus 12 is minus 12, and then you see minus x equal to minus 12, that gives you x equal to 12. So you see we get the same value like that one before. Yeah, x equal to 12. So yeah, we have to have something like this, of course. No matter the methods you are using, it should give you the same answer, right? So this x gives us 12, right? And basically, once you got the value of x, we can now get the value of y using one of the equation. For example, if you go back to the very first one, yeah, y equals to, y minus 4x equals to 0. So y minus 4 times 12 equals to 0. Give you y equals to 48. Yeah. So I think most of you already saw the substitution or elimination method before, and when you want to verify, when you want to confirm whether this answer is correct or not, yeah, well, sometimes it's easier to go to okay, of course you can check the number directly from the equation that we have here. Yeah, for example, you have y equals to 4x. Well, from the answer that we got before, it's quite obvious. 48 equals to 4 times 12. Yes, so basically what I'm trying to say is to check directly the number, the answer that you got from this calculation directly into the equation. But the second way, when you want to verify, when you want to confirm if the answer is correct or not, we can also check with a website like Desmos, right? So this is the website, yeah, and see what I draw here. It's the graph of y equals to 4x. So basically, this is the first equation. Now the second one, it's from the situation 6 years later, right? So basically it was y equals to 3x plus 18, if I'm not mistaken, 18. So if you look at here, actually what we have here is we have two lines, and they are intersecting at one point there. Oh, sorry. So I think the number is the equation is not that right. Oh, actually, this is not 18. This is 12. Sorry about this. Yep. Now, if you look at here, we have two lines which are intersecting here at one point there, and this intersection point is actually the answer, the solution for the value of roots h and her mom, yeah, 12 and 48. Okay, so you can see if you want to check the calculation is correct or not, you can use this website, Desmos, for example, and then graph the equation here, yeah, and then check the intersection point. But let me tell you something. This is not something that always happens. Sometimes when you are trying to solve two equations with two unknowns, yeah, we can't get the answer. I mean, there is no answer for x or y, okay? So with that situation, I will need to talk about this situation where we don't have the answer, perhaps in the next discussion, in the next session, okay, where I will also discuss some other question related to solving two equation with two unknowns. So I guess that's what I want to discuss with you today, yeah? When you have this kind of question and then you want to discuss the question with your kids. Okay, thank you, and I'll see you next time.